The State Farm commercials are halfway there insurance lately, so pay attention. It's coming up. Guys, I'm Skip Jones with Skip Jones State Farm. I'm your speaker for today. And today I'm taking a different approach. I want to talk about what happens after you give me the referral. What do your people experience? What have you experienced? And just kind of give you some insight on what we do at Skip Jones State Farm. So first I want to introduce you to the team. There they are. That's me, and this is Jake. He has sold more policies to me than any other team member that I've ever had. This is Roderick. A lot of you may have interacted with him, but he's training to be my office manager, but he's also one of my sales consultants. This is Shane is on the end. I'm going to start with Shane because Shane is probably the first person who you hear from. He's my service consultant, and then Chris is also one of my sales consultants as well. Not pictured as TK, he speaks Mandarin and Taiwanese, so but he works remote, but this is the team. This is who you interact with. Next slide. So I want to tell you a little bit about what we stand for, what makes our insurance agency different from anybody else. And that is we stand on the tier, the top tier team, and this is what I ingrain in my team. The tier is for trust, integrity, empathy, and relationships. If we don't have trust, that is our currency. That is how we do business with. We exchange trust with each other, and I really put that into my teams in our culture. Integrity, we want to make sure we don't give you what we want. We want to make sure that we're giving you helping you make an informed decision that's balanced with where are the potential gaps in what you may currently have. So we really like to operate that way. Empathy, we like to stand in your shoes and not our own. We don't want to sell you anything or put ourselves in a position where we're trying to push something on you. We're really trying to stand in your shoes and offer you something that's going to give you a holistic protection for your entire life. And then relationships. Y'all, I got to experience this firsthand this past weekend. We like to build relationships with our customers so we know them and that we can be there for them as life goes on, not just for a one-time policy kind of thing. So we really take value in people and not just in policies. We thrive by helping people in their times of joy and in need. And we recognize that today might be a good day, but tomorrow might not be. So we really try to think about the things you don't think about every day, just so that that bad day might be a better day, knowing that you're protected with our agency. So just one of the other things about our agency is we recognize that insurance is evolving just like every other industry. It's becoming more transactional, it's faster, and it's less interpersonal. You can do a lot of things online. You can, get a policy without having to speak with anyone. But we know that our customers, they really want to have someone to talk to in their time of biggest need, or when their emotions are high, or when the situation is complicated. But we also know that you want to be able to do routine things fast, digitally, and get them done. So we really try to take that approach with people and make that connection with them, while also introducing them to all of the tools with AI being integrated into everything, and make sure they know how to do things on their own as well. So we really like to take that balanced approach with our customers. So, all right, let's talk about the gateway policy.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. We can keep going. I want to make sure to stay on time today, and I went over last time. So, this is the first policy that usually we talk about with everyone, because everybody goes shopping for car insurance, right? So we always end up making this an educational experience, because most people don't know how their insurance works. They don't know what the different components do and what part does what whenever. So I always like to kick it off with the most important part of the policy, and that is liability. Why? Because liability is protecting your finances. It keeps you from having to pay when you are at fault. Yes, you were at fault. You did it. You crashed it. When you're at fault, that's the reason we have all of these billboards out there right now, is because everybody knows that that in the state of Texas, you're required to have insurance, and you're riding around in a $30,000 to $60,000 policy that they can use and get some money for somebody and get some money for themselves. So liability is going to cover the other person. Make sure that you don't have to pay when you're in an at-fault accident. And things happen every day, y'all, and Texas is what we would call a split liability state. In other words, partial liability can be placed on different parties. So you want to make sure that your liability, whenever you see those little limits at 30, 60, 25, I pray not. But whenever you see those limits, those three numbers, that is telling you what you're covered for an individual's bodily injury, for the entire claim, how much you're covered for bodily injury with all parties that may be involved, and for property damage. So, y'all, if you look outside, you see vehicles, you see property out there that's well worth more than $100,000, $300,000, whatever. You might be caught up in a pileup or whatever. So you just want to make sure that you review your liability so that you're not having to pay anything above those limits. Next thing is, what about the car? What happens to the car? So, two types of coverage really cover that car. That's collision coverage. That means that if anything collides with your car, if you collide with anything, like a vehicle, a tree, a guardrail, anything like that, you rear end somebody rear ends you, this is what it takes to repair or replace your vehicle. So that is collision coverage. So what's the difference between collision and comprehensive? Comprehensive is like those acts of God. It's like those things that happen, you might not even be in your car, and something might fall on it, it might get vandalized, theft, fire, lightning, whatever it might be. That's your comprehensive. Also included in that is typically glass coverage. So you get your windows, you get your glass chipped or anything like that, that's usually included in the comprehensive side of the coverage. That is not a limit, that is a deductible. So that means you're responsible for that first, could be zero, anywhere up to $2,000, $10,000 in some cases, if you dare to hit a $10,000 deductible, but to keep your costs down. But you cover that first part, and then the insurance company takes care of everything else, right? All right, next is, what about if I get hurt, or the people in my car? That is your medical payments, or in most cases now, a broader term is personal injury protection. That means that if you're hurt, or people in your vehicle get hurt or injured, that helps to cover an ambulance ride, medical costs associated with the actual accident itself. So that is what medical payments are. And then this one is really important in the DFW area, because there's a lot of people out here riding with no insurance at all. They might show you a card, and they might not have an active policy. But if you're ever involved in an accident with someone that doesn't have insurance or doesn't have enough to cover you, then your uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage helps to pay for your medical expenses, pain and suffering. Also, people don't realize it, but also like lost wages, different things associated with a claim that can happen outside of just you being hurt or your car being damaged. So all those coverages are really important. And that's what I would call kind of like the things that are really, really nice to have. And that's your emergency roadside coverage. Y'all, make sure you have emergency roadside coverage. It's not that expensive, and you just never know when you're going to need it. And the way everything works now, you can just hop on an app. You might not know where you are in the middle of nowhere, but they will come and find you to help you when you're in a pinch. So emergency roadside coverage comes in clutch. And then here's the other one, rental car reimbursement. I have people tell me all the time, well, I have 6 vehicles. I don't need a rental car. But I asked them the question, if you're 500 miles outside of town and you suffer from a breakdown, you have to get your car repaired, what are you going to do to get around? So that's where rental car coverage still comes in handy, because you still want to make sure you can get around, but also included in that coverage is travel expenses. Travel expenses means that if you are 50 miles outside of your home, that State Farm will kick in and give you a room, give you something to eat, get you some toiletries, and so that you can, if you have to stay there, like you're locked in, then you have a way to be able to live while you're still there. So that coverage is bonus in that. All right, so I thought I had one minute. All right, let's go real quick. Trivia time. I thought this would be fun. So this is out to the group. Next slide. All right, can somebody else drive your car?
Yes.
That's right, it's permissive use, right? If you give somebody and tell them, hey, run to the store real quick, grab some diapers, grab some groceries, whatever, they can use your car. However, if they use that car more than once or twice a month, then you're probably going to want them on that policy. Because if they drive it frequently or more than 2 or 3 times a month, they kind of have that number is about more than once a month, then they are considered a rated driver. So you want to make sure you disclose that, because nowadays, undisclosed drivers, there are a lot of claims that happen with undisclosed drivers, and that's what causes rates to go up when they have accidents. Next question. So what's considered full coverage? We get this question all the time. Give me a policy with full coverage. That is a very loose term. We just consider everything to be full coverage. But full coverage is basically the 3 main components, which is collision, comprehensive, and liability. Those are usually the things that when you purchase a car that your title company wants you to have on your policy. Next question. All right, why does my insurance keep going up, Skip? I don't understand. It can be a lot of different things, but rates in your area where you live makes a difference. Claims, sometimes not at fault. Where you live, you made a change, lost discounts. The cost to insure the vehicle change, like there's a higher incidence of theft on your type of vehicle that can cause your rates to go up, believe it or not. Or your insurance score may have changed. I don't know what that score is.
Or your driving record.
Yeah, your driving record will definitely make a difference.
Maybe your driving record.
It can happen. But last thing, y'all, who are the best people to refer to me? Anybody who's looking to compare their plan with no pressure, we just want us to look at it with you, just see what's out there. We'll do that. Anyone with major life events who needs to make some adjustments to their overall plan, we love those people. Any business owners, we definitely like talking to our business owners. My first policy, if it's their first time getting insurance, we really like to educate so that they know what they're getting and spending their hard-earned money on. So they understand insurance. And then we also have team members who speak both Spanish and Mandarin Taiwanese as well. So feel free to give us a call. So y'all, thank you today.
Awesome.